King and Yates, they bridging the gap. From the US to Dubai, put pins on the map. Ball is life, and that's a fact. And a baller's life, about that exact. King and Yates, they bridging the gap. From the US to Dubai, put pins on the map. There's a time to score and a time to assist. Ain't no I in team, let the winning commence. From generation to generation, game don't stop. The new and old school got the game on lock. It's all legendary, it's all necessary. We all been all-stars before February. And after that, King and Yates, after racks. But really trying to get some wins, not just padding stats. Two basketball lovers through happenstance. Built a bond that led to greatness that advanced.
Yes, sir. BTG Nation, right back in the studio, getting back on the groove of things. Here we are, live from Dubai, episode number 14. 14. Oh, I got my guy finally producing the show, telling me to get my shirt together. There we go. OG, right? The bucket solid. Somebody asked me if that's his staple. I said, if we make some Coach King buckets, will you buy one? If you buy a Coach King bucket, then yeah, that's his trademark.
No doubt. Whatever you buy, sell it.
If you want one, I already found a manufacturer. I found a camo joint like Meth in 95. I found one with the strings, man. BTG Nation, what's up? You know what it is. Hoop Mountain Dubai, Hoop Mountain DXB, hoopmountain.ae. Man, King, we haven't given a big update yet on the Big Game Developmental League. We haven't said too much about it. You know, this is giving early signs of the inaugural season of the Drew League, the inaugural season of the NBA, the first of anything.
Woo! Let's just say some things are better left not talked about. You know, and we say that just because we have high expectations of all of our teams, but we actually been doing okay.
Yes,
because other teams, other coaches, other players, and other parents have all been, giving us a thumbs up, saying like we do a great job and our kids are looking good. So I mean, they have no idea that most of our kids, this is their first time ever playing competitive sports.
Man, and playing them with an expectation. Not only to play hard, be great teammates, but to win.
Right.
Like, we're not here just to,
no. Oh, no, we're not spending our free time on Sunday evening just to be out there. We're trying to win.
No.
We're trying to learn life lessons as we go, get better at the game as we go, but we're trying to win while we're there.
Yeah, that's the whole point of us telling you to sacrifice something. So you can taste that victory and see how it was worth all of that, right? So, but it's a good one, though. It's going to be crazy to see how that grows because, there are some other leagues that are standing in which we would like to be a part of those too. Having more than one option is really, really strong for the community of basketball to grow. But, it's time for an influx of some change as well.
Yeah, we're trying to do it the right way, man.
Yeah, trying to get some change in here. And so HMD, everybody that's available, keep an eye out. We have some new gear coming as well, too. We're going to be introducing that right in the next 2 weeks. But let's get to some basketball check-in, man.
Hold on. No. We ain't forgetting about the traffic.
Man.
I almost lost my life twice getting here.
Listen, this is what I'll say too. We talked about the traffic before when we talk about people are rude. This is the one place where I feel like people are lucky that road rage doesn't really exist. Now, you guys that drive around and you talk through your window and you do all those other funny things, that ain't road rage. That's you front running. But some of you people out here have the audacity to try to bulldoze people into the blocks on the walls and things. Like,
I'll say this first. Just because you got a small car, which I happen to drive a small car and now it's a replacement car, and I feel like I'm driving a go-kart, I get no damn respect on the road,
man. Even
though I got the right of way. So just because you got $100,000 car doesn't mean you got, you can just bully the street. That's unacceptable.
Nah, for real. I went from driving the Tesla and then I had to come back down. So now when I was in a Tesla, they look a little bit different, right? Then when I was driving I had the Sunny for a little bit, the Nissan Sunny. And then I had the Hyundai Accent, and now I'm in the Altima, and they treat it a little bit different. What I don't understand is as an adult who understands right from wrong, hopefully, good and bad, hopefully, and danger versus safety. Like, do you understand what happens with car? We see car accidents every day. We talking about cars on fire, cars with their entire front and back smashed in.
I was just in an accident Saturday.
I was on the phone with you and they hit you. The speakers, they hit you in the back.
Hit me in the back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still suffering from a little whiplash. Yeah. That's probably why I don't feel well right now. But listen, I've been a lot of places. And I've seen some bad driving. But it's unacceptable for it to be this bad in Dubai when there's such great roads. I don't think there's one pothole in Dubai.
And if there ever is, it doesn't last more than a week.
Right. There's great signage, great lights. I mean, there's no reason for drivers to drive this crazy here in Dubai. Everything is set up.
Yeah, and I'm going to speak specifically to those of you who drive them Nissan Patrols. Different life right now, right? But can you fight? The way you guys drive and pull up on somebody and flash the lights and all those other things, can you fight? Can you fight? That's what like can you remember the one time we were coming off an exit?
Yes. We had Philip in the back with us, coming from practice.
It's a 1-lane exit. It's one of those ramps where it's a round one, it's a wide one, it's only one
right
lane.
By MOE.
Right by MOE. There's 3 cars in front of us, and we got to go 40 to 50 kilometers max because it's a big curve. We had a truck behind us flashing the lights for us to go faster or move out the way.
And there's nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. And then when they pull up beside us, they don't even want to roll the window down. They're just acting crazy. Like, yo, what is wrong with you people?
I saw a dude, though. I swear he was 5'9".
Of course.
120 pounds. We're like, come on, man.
Mop him up.
Come on.
Yeah, you guys got to stop that, for real. Yeah. Because there are a new wave of people coming to Dubai. And some of you guys, I don't know where you're from, what you're used to, but people don't like that. You tamper with people's lives when you play like that on the road.
Safety issues, man. Safety. People got kids in the car.
Man, I got a pregnant wife in the car. Right? Like, shit, just me. If it's just me, like, you talking about getting hit by a car, that shit gonna hurt for the next 2-3 weeks. Sometimes it go longer than that. Lingering pains. For what, too? And that's another thing. I learned that quick. People don't care about your car. Lamborghini, Bentley, nothing. They don't care. They just driving. They're just driving. All vibes. Like, this effort, we'll leave it here. Nah, this is not the desert anymore. This is not just the middle of nowhere. Dubai, UAE is trying to build up something that is going to be one of the best civilizations.
It's already one of the best now.
Yeah, period. We got to start catching up, man. Or somebody going to get choked. We gonna see one of them Loving Dubai or UAE news things where somebody got beat up on the side of the road because they were driving recklessly, man. It won't be any of us though, because we
definitely won't be me. I ain't getting deported.
Yeah, I ain't getting deported for nothing. But they don't deport you for self-defense though.
Oh, well, that's different.
The wife already told you, just let them swing first and you're good. No problem.
Okay, I didn't know that. Good information.
Yeah, that changed their life. But that's one of the few things that we are upset about with being expats here. But make no mistake about it. Same issues everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
There's always issue everywhere.
We just bring that up because in the States, that road rage will lead to shooting and beatings and stuff like that. So it's a little more volatile. But, here, we just saying there's no reason for it. Man. Because everything's, back home, the traffic's bad all the time for no reason. The roads are bad. So, you complain all the time because you have a legit reason. Here, like I said, I haven't felt one pothole yet.
None. I will throw some bail, though. The one thing that I think drivers probably start sweating about is if they miss an exit.
Yeah.
I will say that. I will say that. But this is where us as adults, right? Like strong-minded adults with common sense that we hope we have. If you're following directions on Waze or Google Map and you know your exit is under 2 kilometers away, start to get over now.
Yeah.
Don't wait till it's 300 meters and you slowing up and causing traffic because you'd want to go from the hammer lane all the way to the right.
You can't cross 6 lanes.
6 of them.
You can't cross.
6 of them.
In that case, just go around, come back, man.
Yeah, you already did it. But if that's what I miss about the States, I tell the wife sometimes, I'd be like, look, I know like 4 or 5 ways to get somewhere. I can make a quick U-turn right here, or I can make a left right there and still be on track. Here it ain't that yet. Not yet. It ain't gonna get there. But man, basketball news. I think start with something kind of somber, but Lonzo Ball. The Bulls have had an up and down season. Mm-hmm. They've had an up and down season, and nobody's gonna give it any credit towards Lonzo for his impact on the team when they were there, because they were fighting for number 1 seed last year, right? They were at the top. Levine was having one of his better years, right? And so this year they're struggling, and nobody is saying, without Ball, it's pretty tough. But he hasn't played, and they were hoping to get him back soon. I think he had torn his meniscus, and they thought the entire summer was going to be enough for him to repair, which normally a meniscus, that does happen, right? Because you can play still on the meniscus as well. But after a second surgery, he still can't run or do any basketball movements. In fact, he says there's pain even when walking up the stairs.
Not good, man.
Right. Now, when I hear that, I'm hearing, we got to start bringing some malpractice suits or something to some surgeons or some insurance stuff. Because you're talking about this is the second one. I think he had an infection on it after the first surgery. Yeah, and you've dealt with improper medical advice.
Yeah,
and you've seen some medical decisions made that set somebody back. Like, but
who did he go to? Was it the Bull staff or? We just see, that's what I'm saying. We don't know, because a lot of times, especially with his pops kind of leading the way, he may have gone to their own doctor. We don't know.
But even now, you're starting to see that you really can't trust the staff at the organization. You see what happened with GP Gary Payton II. They said they were forcing him to take injections on his ab thing so he can still play.
Yeah, that's different than having the surgery, though.
Yeah.
Like them giving you shots to go play. That's been happening for years. We talking about something to get you back on the court in terms of, what I'm saying, it's a little different, but somebody screwed up.
Yeah, I know you dealt with some injuries before too. You had some big ones like to your hand. What's that mental process like when you're trying to get back?
It's just say it's like something happening to you right now, and the next day you can't walk. And you can't do your normal routine. That's just it's mental torture, man. Just knowing that all of a sudden something was taken away from you, and you just don't know what to do. Yeah. And no matter what you do in terms of therapy, mental positivity or whatever, it's gonna take time. And then after that time is over, you don't even know if you're gonna be 100% again. And
yeah.
So it's tough.
That's the tough thing about playing a sport. It's gonna come to an end at some point. But if you can't control when that end happens, or if you can't start to prepare yourself for that end, that shit hurt. Because it's like, man, I'm still like, my identity is tied to here. And I was just telling my wife, babe, it's hard for me to kind of really help create a picture for you to understand what an athlete's life is like, even at like the high school level. But like once you start to get identified as somebody who's a little bit better than average and you got some success to stuff, life is a lot different. Access, that's the number one thing. Access changes to everything. You get to the front of the line for a lot of stuff.
You get some benefits for sure.
You coming through the kitchen to get in the club.
But more so it's just, how can I say it? The idea of knowing that you can compete at a level that not everybody can compete at. Even if you've never been on the college level, pro level, whatever, just knowing that you are considered in somebody's eyes somewhere, one of the best.
Yeah.
Whether it's in your town, your city or region or whatever, you just walk around with a certain confidence.
Yeah.
Because people are telling you that you all right, man.
Yeah. And you do a lot of work behind closed doors with nobody seeing it.
Right.
And so a lot of times people ask, it's like, why do we even pay athletes that much money? But when you think about how just the way the system goes, you get paid for the time that you put in. And for you to come to a game and see the player that LeBron is, the player that Kyrie is.
Stop. Don't do that shit.
What?
Don't do that.
Don't do what?
Don't paint the picture like everybody works hard.
No, they don't.
Don't do.
They don't.
That's a poor example of it because you naming the superstars.
Hold on though. There's levels to work though. Because we'll say some people don't work as hard as they could when they get there. But I don't mean they never worked hard.
Some people don't.
I mean, it's a degree of like how you say hard work is.
Some people are just talented.
Yeah, I think AI did work hard when it was time to show up.
Yeah, when it was time to show up.
Yeah. So I think
but you can't use him as he's an outlier of someone who's just special. Like AI I've seen this personally where he could stay out all night, do his thing, and then drop 30 the next night. Everybody can't do that. But the problem is when you paint that picture, people that are listening or see this will think that everybody on the bench 1 through 15 is doing the same thing. No, they're not. Mm-hmm. We just heard a whole. What is everybody talking about right now? Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Is he earning his money?
No,
he ain't. Come on, man.
No, not now.
Yeah. So where's the work?
Granted, yeah. But I'll say to that in his scouting report, they did say that hey, he's not much of a worker. Right, and so that's Russian roulette. You put your money on number 3.
And there's a lot of people that's playing now. That's why the greats be a little salty. The young guys say they hating. They ain't really hating. They just really calling it.
Sick of the shit.
Yeah, they calling the facts. You know? And that's why you were going to get into the All-Star game. That's why the All-Star game.
Yeah,
cats don't care. 90-something points in the first half.
We definitely gonna get to the All-Star game because there's some layers to that. The location, the energy, all that. There's some layers. But man, I do hope Lonzo finds an answer and he's able to get there because you like to see somebody go out on their own terms.
Was he wearing those shoes?
Nah. He stopped those. The only one that was wearing them shoes was Jello.
Okay.
Yeah, but after he signed with Nike, matter of fact, I'm not mistaken, like a little.
But he was wearing them at first, though, was he?
Early, like when he was at UCLA.
Yeah.
They kill him. Listen, if Marbury ain't go fall through wearing Starburys, I ain't gonna blame the big baller brand joints.
Come on, man. $15 for Starburys.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna blame them. They was at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Hey.
I remember right there at Potomac Mills. Matter of fact, I know some teams that had them as team shoes.
Listen,
the coaches that couldn't
every kid I taught had those shoes, and these were wealthy kids.
Yeah,
Marbury. But we talking about a pair of sneakers for $300 that ain't retro Jordans or something. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, man. Business got to make that money, man.
He didn't.
He was trying. He bit off more he can chew, though. Yeah, that's that big dog stuff. But Lonzo, we hope you get right, champ.
Yeah, don't want to see anybody out injured, man.
Not at all, especially with somebody who was starting to turn into a solid pro and starting to get a nice niche for himself, turn himself into a person who can contribute to winning. A little more lighthearted here. Dwight Howard in Taiwan. He got ejected, a part of a 12-player fight. But they say the big fella was the peacemaker within the situation. He still got ejected, though.
It's sad, man. That ain't lighthearted. Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, it is funny, but it's sad at the same time, just because everywhere he goes, man, it's some craziness. I mean,
but it's overseas though. Ain't anything could be possible. They started doing a lot. Philippines get crazy.
Man, he's in Taiwan, man. They love him over there.
Ask me how his team is doing.
What's the record?
4-11.
Shit.
He averaging like 24 and 14 though.
Yeah, but saw those clips. He's clowning over there, man, shooting threes and shit.
I don't think he clowning over. He definitely still shooting threes. I saw a stat line when he just went 2 for 10. But
He
might
should
be
go
taking
2 of nothing from 3.
Man, he shouldn't take a 3-pointer unless it's the end of the shot clock, and then he got 35 already or something like. Well, you just pulling him up, pick and pop.
You see what he's doing? See, he's over there getting a big bag too. Trust me, but he's ruining it for other guys that want to go over there.
Yeah,
he's gonna ruin it, man.
But I think he'll be all right because of the brand. Because of him being there, selling, he gonna be amongst the people. I'm seeing a lot of stuff.
He's gonna be fine, no matter whether he goes to Taiwan. I'm talking about the next dude that didn't go to the NBA that's trying to go to Taiwan.
Yeah, but those dudes that didn't go to the NBA that are seeing him are cooking him though. So it might be, just that team might be like, so we ain't messing with no ex-NBA players no more. He ain't hungry. But what did you expect from what did you expect, right? Like once he started to grow his hair and get like blonde dreadlocks, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. That's that Georgia stuff right there.
What?
yeah.
Man, have you seen? Come on, man. Half your neighborhood walked around with fake braids and fake dreads.
No, they was real. They was real.
No, I seen some in practice fall. I ain't gonna call no names. You know what I'm talking about, though. Fall out. I was like, "What is that?" It's like, "Oh, that's my coach."
Hey, man, shout out to my guys, man. But
you know who it was.
We got dudes back in the league, though. We got Myers Leonard back in the league after a hiatus.
2 years.
You know what I'm saying? Do some sensitivity classes. Learn not to say certain words. I'm not even going to say the category of words. I don't want no backlash here in a different part of the world. But he's back, and he's a very solid big. Very solid big,
right, yeah.
Especially in comparison to the time that we in right now. He gives that Zubac, Mason Plumlee type of vibe there, and he can spread the floor. So he's going to the Bucks.
Yeah, right place.
Yeah, we got Milwaukee.
Right place.
Yeah, so that's a good pickup. My favorite addition, one of my favorite additions, Pat Bev going to Chicago. He chose the Bulls over Golden State. And so he chose the Bulls because he said, look, the East a little bit weaker. There's a lot of guards over there in Golden State. You got to play behind Steph. You got to play behind now. GP2 is there. You got Clay. You got Jordan Poole. They're going to get heavy minutes. But then he said, I get to go home. I get to take my kids to school.
True, yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Pat get to go home now. I ain't mad at it. And then you can make a push in the East now for a playoff spot. And so
we can go there and get another contract too.
Yeah. Pat be playing it good. Pat be knowing, he be making sense. And when you hear him talk too on the pod, he knows exactly where he is. Mm-hmm. And he was like, look, that minimum, that's 3 for 30. Mm-hmm. That 3 for 30 because I'm an NBA starter. I know where I'm going. So work the system. 3-time All-NBA defense. You make something happen. A contributor. He is going to make winning plays. So I hope that works out for Chicago. Next pickup, the Miami Heat. Pick up Kevin Love. What do you think with that one?
It don't move the needle. It don't move the needle. Because Miami, of course, they play the right way. But they don't have... They don't have those it guys.
Yeah.
That can just get them over the hump. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Butler tried to do it,
almost
a couple years
himself.
ago, but almost died.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He probably ain't never recovered from that, yo.
You remember who I said I wanted to see in the Heat jersey, right?
Who was that?
Joel Embiid.
That'd been a difference maker.
That'll be a difference maker for him.
Yeah.
Because the type of shape that he'll get in, and he'll be on the block for sure. He will be right there doing what he does and dominating for real. I think if that were to happen, that'd change everything. Including staying with Bam, staying with Tyler Hero, staying with Jimmy Butler, you add Joel Embiid to that.
Yeah, but Sixers ain't letting him go now though.
Man, no,
too close.
Especially when James Harden, they say this might be his last year. He always in the rumblings about going somewhere. I don't know where he would go, but. They talk about it. But the biggest move to the Clippers, we got Russell Westbrook. Yeah. Well, you laughing, but I see a lot of people like, yo, he going to go crazy. What's your honest opinion? Don't go back. You know, we do appreciate Russ's career and what Russ has done because he has done some outstanding things. But
listen, I love Westbrook's career.
Competitor.
Since coming out of UCLA, the only problem I had was he's always been a 2. You can't change who you are. You know what I'm saying? And it's too late in the game for him to try to change now. And if the Clippers are bringing him in to run the 1, shit, they in trouble because he's just not a good decision maker.
And that's where I wish people would be more honest about. Like when you talk about Russ and even his issues within LA, it wasn't about him playing hard. It wasn't about him showing up every night and making it happen. It wasn't about him not making plays, but it was about him making the wrong plays at the wrong time consistently. Mm-hmm. And I will say this, my boy who's a Wizards fan, when we got him, like all year he was telling me why he was a Wizard. He was like, yo, Russ is getting on my nerves, dog. Like, and you know, in DC, you're not seeing any of the games, but you know, CSN, mm-hmm. you know, Channel 8 getting everything. He's like, dog, you might see 20, 15, and 9 at the end, but Slim is making the wildest turnovers. And I was like, nah, I got Russ. When has DC ever had anybody like Russ? You know, I'm playing. I'm making jokes. So as he get to LA, I'm like, yo, what the hell is this? And it's mind-boggling because it's like, Russ, MVP. Yep. You know, everybody's giving Joker a lot of love about averaging a triple-double for 3 years, and Russ is going to average a triple-double for his career, right? At 6'2". But damn, homie. Yeah, like, do coaches get any blame for that? I say it's early gear coaches. Do they get any blame for that?
Yes and no. The reason I say yes, because you need to put him in the best spot for the team, you know, and basically his career. But I say no because you don't know what was coming up from the top. The top might have told you, hey, play him at the 1. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? You know, the league is different where
that's true.
You know,
it's a lot of opinions in the pot. That's what they say.
But I mean,
yeah. So with that being said, what do you see happening with the Clippers then? Because now the Clippers made a move just like everybody in the West.
Russ, PG3, and Kawhi Leonard. PG3 is a phenomenal talent. We know that. But he's not a great decision maker either. Kawhi plays smart, but we don't know if he's available, right? Mm-hmm. I just don't see them on paper. It looks good. On the court, I gotta wait and see. I think Ty Lue, I think he does a hell of a job. I don't know if he can handle this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sold. I'm sold on the Lakers anyway, so I ain't really worried about the Clippers. It's too much. You know, some organizations like, and we've seen it with teams. It's like sometimes it's more than just basketball that keeps you from winning.
Right,
and
all the time.
And with the Clippers, I think they're going in the right direction, but they've been a bad organization for so long. And sometimes those things still creep into the fabric of the team. And somehow, some way, it's just like, I don't say it's bad omens, but it's just some things that it just happen to teams. You know, it's just like, it's the Clippers.
It's just meant to be.
Like it's... Like it won't even sound right to say the NBA world champions are the Los Angeles Clippers. Like that shit sound crazy. Like as much as I wonder why a Laker is a Laker, you know, you hear the story. You know, Minneapolis is where they were first. You know, that's the land of the lakes. What the fuck is a Clipper?
It's a ship, right?
I don't know.
I think it's a ship.
All right, if it's a ship,
right?
Yeah. A Brit would know, right? But let's make that move to All-Star game criticism because there was a lot of it, right? I want to start with young Anthony Edwards. They asked Anthony Edwards, "What's one thing you would want to change about the league?" And he said, let me see if I can find it. Let me not even try to misquote the young killer who was Bron's first pick for his team on the reserve. And I hope they never do that again too. They had the pick live right before the game, then the concert, and we ain't even watch it. But that just sounded like I was gonna fall asleep. All right. Do you like that concept too?
Listen, man, for you to have to switch it around and pick the reserves first is absolutely insane, considering you're a multi-millionaire and you're an all-star. Just being picked as an all-star is
a blessing.
You know what I'm saying? Is a blessing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter which.
Just play, man.
Yep. And here we go. They ask him, what's one thing you would change about the league, right?
If there's anything I could change about the league to make it better, probably just all the guys sitting resting. That's the only thing I probably don't like. Just play, man. If you 80%, you got to play. I don't like all the sitting, missing games and stuff. Like these people might have enough money to come to one game. You know what I'm saying? And that might be the game they come to, and then you sitting out. You know what I'm saying? So I take pride in trying to play every game because I don't know. It might be one fan that has never seen me play, and I'm trying to play. So that's the only thing I don't like. Guys just sitting out.
Yeah, and that's a heavy
MJ.
Yeah, MJ, Kobe, Shaq, all that different era stuff. Like, and it's important because you know how that cause and effect is. One action leads to like 30 or 50 different reactions. Like that shit not just sitting out. Now people watching from the other teams in the league, and it's like, no, I do this. People who don't need to sit out sitting out.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been saying that as well.
Listen, too much money.
Yeah. Not
to the superstars, but it's that group in between.
Yeah, they finessing that
too
thing.
Much.
Yeah, they've been asking, so how can we spice up All-Star? And they said, would you guys like to see a one-on-one tournament? Drew Holiday was like, yeah, but I wouldn't play in it. I would love to see it, but I don't see none of the vets playing in it. It's probably something you should do with like the rising stars, like the rookie sophomores type stuff. Shea Gildas Alexandria was like, yeah, I need to see that. I want to be a part. Anthony Edwards is like, yeah, I want a part of that too. But I don't know.
You gotta come up with something different.
Yeah.
You just got to.
Yeah. And we talk about the evolution of the All-Star game because we got coaches saying it sucked. Mike Malone said it was the worst thing he ever played in. He ever coached before. Jaylen Brown saying it was just a glorified layup line. It was terrible.
It's supposed to be a little resistance the first few quarters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But then it's supposed to get tight down the end.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? But these guys, man.
Yeah, they don't compete the same. Like, everybody's been showing the throwbacks of the last time it was really competitive was when Kobe played. Because Kobe was like, this is probably the only time I get to play Bron. And so that's when he was picking Bron up full court and, blocking 3-pointers and dunking and doing all those other things, trying to get a W. But it's just not built from that fabric. And with everything else, there needs to be an evolution. But with the All-Star game itself, then there got to be an evolution. Guys just got to take it serious.
Right.
Like, it's a lot of people saying that they want to do it, but what the fuck? Who's going to do it then?
So, it's on the stars, man. It's on the stars. Like, back in the day, David Thompson, dunk contest.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. J, dunk contest.
We ain't even get there yet, right?
Jordan, those guys, they all participated, man. Like, they took pride in winning it. You know what I'm saying? So Dominique's a millionaire, Jordan's a millionaire. But who's dunk contest champion? You know what I'm saying? Is certain degrees of competitiveness that you need to have, man. And and everybody, my whole thing is everybody gives these guys too much leeway. Oh, they're a business. Well, the fact that you got so much money, that gives you more freedom to do these things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think, Dominique's biggest contract per year was probably about $3-4 million.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Think Dominique. And he's out there dunking, right? Spud Webb.
Yeah.
But you think about if Dominique's got $80 million. So now he can go out there and not worry about
freely.
it. Yeah, free.
So with that being said, Stephen A. Smith said that single-handedly LeBron ruined the dunk contest.
He is 99% correct on that.
For real?
Yeah.
Well, Why do you think
Because
so?
everybody that has watched LeBron since he entered the league has waited for him to get in the dunk contest.
Facts.
I have, for sure. Like his in-game dunks are incredible.
And he's been like that since high school when he put it between his legs, right?
Yeah. And he won the McDonald's dunk contest, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so we want to see that, man. Come on.
And he did promise it. He did say that he would be there, was it 2010 or something like that?
Yep.
And so because he didn't, because when you think about it, every star at that time, check outside, champ. Every star at that time did actually play. Now, of course, I'm always going to go back to, I remember Kobe was in the dunk contest. Yeah. You got it? Okay. And then you got Vince Carter.
Yeah, T-Mac, everybody.
Yeah, and Vince Carter, the greatest dunker of all time, right? And they put Bron in that category.
Yes.
And he didn't show up for it. And so now you got every superstar under him like, nah, I ain't gonna do it if Bron ain't no reason to.
There's no reason not to be in it. Like, he's been in the league 20 years.
20.
Now, we don't want you to get in it now. But them first 10 years, you got to be in it, man.
No, that's normal criticism, right? I feel like we've been saying that for the last 10 years, right?
Okay.
Like, dunk contest would be better.
But no one's ever singled LeBron out for it except Stephen A. Because he said it before.
Yeah. But with that being said, we do need to show some love to Matt McClung. I said his name right this time too.
Matt McClung.
Because he won the dunk contest. And King, he had some shit.
No, he had some shit. like I said, when you have played before and you're sitting down and you're watching somebody do something and you see something that you didn't expect, every natural reaction from every hooper is you stand up real quick.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? You know what I'm saying? I did it 3-4 times.
Yeah.
I thought it was just the one dunk that I saw they kept playing.
They double top the board.
But when I saw the whole dunk, I was like, he got every one the first time too.
Yeah, and then
smooth.
And we've been watching highlight clips of him for a while too, because he's from VA, and he just was a standout. Yeah. But slim.
Yeah, when he was dunking in high school, it was impressive, but it looked like he was barely getting up.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the dunk contest. That altitude didn't bother him.
Launch pad. That thing was serious. And if you saw, Kenyon Martin Jr. did have some solid ones. Trey Murphy III did have some solid ones too. But it's just the star power that you missed.
Yeah.
Even Dwight punk ass was in the dunk contest, right?
That's right, Superman.
You know what I'm saying?
That's dumb shit.
It just all works out. So, but this is probably the biggest criticism of the All-Star weekend right here.
Utah, which,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. All-Star game is in Utah, which,
oh my goodness.
You had a lot of tweets about a year ago, 2 years ago, about, just when they lost in the playoffs to the Clippers.
Yeah, man.
Like, what's the animosity?
I don't even know what we're doing here. I mean, what we doing in Utah? Damn. I mean, for real, NBA, man, for real now. Cleveland, then here. Come on now. What we doing out here in Utah? For real now. It's cold as hell, first of all. And it's the only damn All-Star game that you can move around downtown. Ain't no damn traffic. I mean, this is weird. But, I had to be out here, so I'm out here, and I'm going to make the best of this. But this is some bull.
All-Star game is in Utah.
Hey, man. That is NBA legend, two-time NBA champ Vernon Maxwell, right? Houston Rocket.
One of the first guys to go up into the stands.
Hey, from the bench, too.
Yeah. Y'all don't know about that. Yeah.
Hey, King, man. He said, why the hell we in Salt Lake City?
I didn't know. That's the first time it's ever been in Salt Lake?
I'm sure.
It'd probably be the last time, too.
Man. Shaq said, yo, I've never ordered so much room service in my life. Everybody was like, yo, this shit boring. This shit terrible. He said, I'm going to sleep. Charles said, everybody going to heaven. He said, it ain't no liquor. There ain't no smoking. There ain't no nothing. He said everybody in Utah going to heaven because there ain't nothing to do. He said it sucks. Man, with that being said, why y'all late? You know, you had every reason to make it the most competitive game ever.
Right, because you was rested.
Yeah, well rested.
Well-rested.
You know, getting up out of there. But man, well, we'll see. You know, the evolution. It only takes one player. The day Anthony Edwards comes to the All-Star game and starts cooking and starts yapping to somebody, it's going to change. Yeah. Speaking of that, SGA went up for a dunk in the All-Star game and LeBron blocked it. And SGA was like, yo, I watched him let everybody else go freely, but he blocked mine. He said, don't worry, I'm not going to forget that. And I know what that was from Bron because he didn't forget that SGA handed him that L.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and so I'm looking forward to that. But we are sports guys turned into what does Draymond say? The new media, the new media. So there's a crop of us. There's a lot of former athletes that are getting opportunities to be journalists. They're doing color commentary. I actually did that in college too. That was in grad school. I came back and I did the color commentary at our games. That was fun. That was fun. I do miss doing stuff like that. But man, one of your favorite analysts, somebody that I know you admire, somebody that you watch play and that you're a big fan of, Jay Will.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Stephen A. Smith.
Jay Will, man. Jay Will out of Duke, former Chicago Bull. Yep. Somebody who's vocal at times, a supportive guy, a player's first type of guy, generally speaking. But I feel like you got a lot of love to show him today. A lot of love to show Jay Will.
Mr. Sensitive. And I don't even know where to begin, man, just because he's been on fire the past couple of weeks, just complaining about everything somebody says about a player.
I think the first thing you brought up to me was Jalen Rose.
Jalen Rose.
I think Jay Rose.
When he went at Jay Rose for saying that Ben Simmons is stealing money. Yeah. And then Jay Will went as far as to say that it's just the way black men are perceived in society in the United States that we shouldn't use that particular phrase.
Hold on. He said that?
Yes, he said that.
And like in terms of like Ben Simmons?
Yeah.
The cat from Australia?
Yeah. Right, exactly. That's my point. And he's saying that we shouldn't do that because that paints a negative perception on all, young black men, so to speak. Okay. Come on, man. Listen, nobody's saying that this guy is literally going up to the organization with a ski mask on, with a gun and sticking them up. They're paying him, and they decided to take on the contract, but he's stealing. That's just bottom line. That's almost in every household in America, white or black. When you get away with something where you don't show up to work and perform and you make a crazy amount of money, you're stealing. So what Jay Rose said wasn't wrong. And in this particular case, it wasn't like he was talking about somebody that was like, say, a Pat Bev, who gives everything they got and overachieves. This dude's been underachieving for how many years?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like that's just being too sensitive. Or you just trying to maybe you got something with Jay Rose or something. You just nitpicking, or you just want to make a splash in the media. But come on, man, that's ridiculous.
Damn.
Yeah.
He said that's bad for young black men in America.
Yeah.
What?
On, man, just the perception that we have and everything. Like, come on, man, get out of here with that.
Not with everybody, but see, that's that oversensitive, and then that
this being too protective, man.
Yeah.
He's a grown man. Show up for work and play. And all people ask you to do when you become a basketball player, continue to do what got you there, but try to improve each day. That's it. That's it. Just play hard.
I think I got one right here.
Ski mask and gloves, as a matter of.
Listen to Jalen, ESPN NBA analyst, of course, on NBA Countdown Friday.
Ben Simmons is stealing money. ski mask and gloves, as a matter of fact. And let me get some stats for you, Stephen A.
Please.
He has 119 fouls, 113 baskets this year.
Come on, man.
Only 2 of them outside of the paint, and he's shooting 43% from the free throw line. That's a guy they traded for James Harden, who, by the way, is averaging 20 and 10 and fitting in like a glove in Philadelphia.
Can I address something before we get into whether Ben Simmons will be a star or not?
Yeah.
I really, and I know it's easy. Like as a fan, you can sit there and say he's stealing money. I get it. He's underperforming, drastically underperforming. But like when you refer to a dude by saying he's stealing money, ski mask and all, we're comparing him to bank robbers now. Like that's.
Well, wait. Are you being a little sensitive about that?
That's why I love Matt. Sometimes he don't make sense,
I know
but
has been in a position before. If you want me to keep it a buck, that J. Rose underperformed too. Now to a degree, or some of his contracts. I'm just being real about it. Like it's like I just get frustrated when there's not sensitivity levels when it's coming from our own.
You want to laugh?
Like if it's coming from Max, if it's coming from you, or if it's coming from Stephen A. Smith, I get it. Yeah. I understand. But when it's coming from one of our own, like when they haven't performed at an ultimate high level and they've gotten rewarded deals here and there, we've seen it.
I mean, we get Jalen on the show to talk about this. Jalen's my dude, but so
I'm more with Jay on this one. The choice of words that matters. I think to both myself and Jay. Mm-hmm. He is underperforming. He's not playing at the level.
Yeah. And let's get it clear. Whenever Jalen Rose underperformed, it wasn't when he was 25, 26,
it was when he was older.
Yeah.
And you know the number one guy, and you could go back and find the soundbite, right? Is John Sally.
Mm-hmm.
John Sally, he'll say, yeah, this amount of years in the league, I earned my money. These last couple of years, I was stealing.
You know what, King? I just saw a clip of John Solly on the podcast. You know who he's on the podcast with?
Oh.
The light-skinned dude from How to Be a Player, Pierre.
Oh, yeah.
He got his own podcast, and they was sitting there. They was talking about Jordan. They was talking about what it was like to go around with Jordan. But we'll get to that at the end because I got to ask you about that too.
Yeah,
but Jalen Rose is right, and
he's right, 100%.
This that era that is frustrating that we're into where it's so much sensitivity in regards to words, and we forget that there's context to everything. There's context to everything. You're just looking for a reason to be sensitive and looking for a reason to have like a buzzword to be. Don't Black Lives Matter me right now, Slim.
But he's trying to say that because Jalen was a former player and he wasn't on Kobe's level or LeBron's level, whatever, that he underperformed. No, I don't say Jalen has every right to say something because not only was Jalen a good player, he's a damn good commentator.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. And you don't have any right to attack him on that. And because he's now working in the media, who's to say he can't criticize somebody that's a player?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
And for me, I would argue that players are more qualified, and we can use that word, than anybody else to make a statement like that.
For sure.
Because not only do you know what it means to be a pro, but you got access to those locker rooms and those people in there because you are part of that player fraternity. Yep. So he know a little bit more that he ain't saying also that he could say.
Yep.
But he not. He might be, Perk could be somebody that slipped the locker room talk. But Jalen, we know J. Rose knows some stuff beyond just what he's saying. But he gave you stats like a commentator gives you stats. He said 119 fouls, King, and only 113 field goals. And this man getting paid $40 million guaranteed.
Yeah. The other night, somebody named like 20 people that are killing in the league that are making less than him, and one of them was Joker.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Come on, man. Everybody knows he's stealing. Everybody on the continent of Australia knows he's stealing. Come on.
Hey, we meet a lot of Australians here, and they don't claim Ben. They talk about Patty though.
Hey, what is that? Is that a continent or is that just a country?
It's continent. It's like Antarctica, right?
You're supposed to know that shit.
Yeah.
They say it's a continent, but people say, ain't no way. It's just
All right, I don't know. But
Nah, what's the 7 continents, right? They talk about the UK education. It's an island. They're about to say.
Well, why can't you just look it up right now? Huh?
What the Olympic rings got to do with anything? What? Man. If you're listening to this, BTG Nation, we're looking for a fact checker. We're looking for somebody that knows how to do research, somebody that asks practical questions. Man, he said the Olympic rings. He just taught us something new. All he said is Australia is a continent, if I'm not mistaken, though. Yeah, it is a continent. It's just like Antarctica, where you know the Antarctica got a hood too, right? They got a documentary out where they follow the street dudes of Antarctica around. Oh, no, it's Alaska, my bad. They follow the street dudes of Alaska around. They let them know like how shit get down.
Yeah, everywhere's got a hood, you know.
Yeah. Some a little different than others, but
Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this cat. We asked one simple question. This cat gets on his board.
We're on the look for a new fact checker out here, guys. All right, and so let's talk about, that's one statement, right? Let me see if I think I found something else. Let me see here.
He thinks you're too preoccupied with Kyrie, too hard on Kyrie.
Did I Bridgin Kyrie Irving last week before he demanded a trade? We were talking football. How many times have I mentioned Kyrie Irving over the last few weeks?
I don't seem to be the one being triggered right now.
Well,
I'm always triggered. No, you're not. Oh, yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you are not. Okay. I've seen you. I watch your show every day.
So what
Are we talking about Kyrie or is this personal?
It seems personal.
I don't want it to be personal.
What seems personal? It seems personal for you.
Jay Will lip quivering right now.
You 1,000,000%.
You of all people with all the interest you have got the nerve to sit here in national television and tell me I'm getting personal with a player?
Because the NBA, is cooking currently.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving gets traded out of Brooklyn to Dallas. They get a big win last night. He's leading scorer, I believe.
Yeah.
Luka was out, so they're able to kind of maybe one and change.
Crazy.
And you obviously cut a promo on Kyrie, and the world reacts to it. How do you see that all going in the future with you and Kyrie? What do you think? Like he wins? You ever see you coming full?
Kyrie, listen, here's the deal.
Just your coverage of him.
Here's the deal. It doesn't matter how I feel about you. I'm always going to be fair. And I'm always going to be objective. You ain't worth my paper. So my attitude is that even if I don't like your ass, I'm still going to be fair. Now, me and Kyrie have our differences that I don't think will ever be settled. He knows why. It's personal. I'm not going to say why. But that doesn't stop me. That doesn't stop me from looking at him and saying he's a phenomenal player.
So I know you came to me the other day and was like, I just watched Stephen A. and Jay Will go back and forth again. And as you guys heard from the clip, Jay Will is saying that, hey, you don't treat the rest of these guys, and a part of that too, he talked about the Dana White stuff. He said, you don't treat the rest of them the way you pop off about Kyrie. And you're supposed to be one of the leaders out here. And so, I know you got something to say about that.
Yeah, I do because, you have some nerve to attack Stephen A. Smith, somebody who's been in this industry for, we don't know how long. He probably longer than you've been alive.
Yeah, I was about to say, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? He's worked his way up from nothing. And, you've been afforded this opportunity because you were a player, star player at Duke, and so you're going to sum up his character based on one or two incidents. That's my problem with him. You're going to attack him. Like, people don't want to give Stephen A. credit, but he's always been one of the guys in the forefront speaking up for us. And what I mean by us, I mean black people on any platform he's been on. And just because he doesn't agree with you doesn't mean that he's wrong or he needs to be attacked. And the thing is, he always says, hey, we can disagree, but we have to make sure we treat each other the same with respect, right? And why do you care what he says about Kyrie? Because most of the stuff with Kyrie that Stephen A. has been saying is based on some of the stuff that Kyrie's been doing. And then, you know, people forget about the stuff when Kyrie, you know, so subtly will say stuff about the media in his, you know, press game conferences, you know, post game pressers and stuff like that. And so it's okay for a player to attack the media, but they can't say anything back. Come on, man, that's ridiculous. And so the thing is, like, if I'm Jay Will, you know what I'm saying, I'll say my piece and let it go. But you're on national TV just defending Kyrie in this particular situation. And the thing is, like, you don't really have a leg to stand on because Kyrie has had some self-inflicted wounds. You know what I'm saying? And it makes it hard for you to defend because you got to think about half the people listening are my age. And, you know, and we work hard for everything we have, and we pretty much don't make excuses that much. And, you know, so that's what I'm saying. You got to see it from both sides. I see it from both points of view. If I was a younger player or a younger fan or whatever watching the game, I might be like, dang, he is attacking him. But if I go back and look at it, when Kyrie does something phenomenal, who's his biggest fan?
Yeah,
Stephen A. Smith, man.
Now, the one thing that I always said was that I did feel like Stephen A. was stepping out a few times, but Stephen A. definitely has said there is some personal beef there.
Yeah,
and so, you know, there's the honesty, right? He said, I ain't gonna let it affect my paper because there is personal beef there, but he is box office. That's the word he uses
he's
all the time. And so that's the one thing that I was like, yo, it shit obvious, but he does admit to that, you know.
But that's my point, that Stephen A. he's never run from an argument, and that's what I'm saying. Jay was trying to make it seem like, you know, you don't want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Stephen A. in the corner. He don't care.
Yeah.
Like, what did you tell me that he is ESPN?
He carries ESPN for everything. And that's another thing too. Stephen A. does get on my nerves at times, because at times if he looks like he's, you know what I'm saying, dancing around, but he is carrying the hats. He is carrying every hat. I remember once he signed that contract, right? Maybe it was before COVID, and everybody was like, "Yo, they must have Stephen A. on 24-hour watch over there because he's covering this, covering football, covering baseball, he's covering basketball, he's covering WNBA, he's covering everything, bouncing around, and because of that, he's bringing people up." And so, but we talked about it before on the pod too, to where the older generation, they always think about what's going to happen if you don't cherish and responsibly use your platform and your position. It's just that sometimes the wrong people from the generation are speaking out. And so Stephen A. is one of the right people, but sometimes when you hear that message from Chuck, everybody's looking at it a little bit sideways, because it comes from the right place. Chuck just don't know how to deliver that.
Chuck, you don't know how to say it.
He never did. But
how can I say it, man? Like, the older guys that have been in this industry for quite some time, and they've been dealing with it, and they've been saying certain things, and they've been able to tiptoe around certain things to keep their job, because you got to take care of your family. I'm sorry, and keep paving the road for Draymond Green, Jay Will, you know, Kendrick Perkins,
Pat Bev,
you know, Richard Jefferson, you know, paving, you know, JJ Redick, you know, if these guys weren't doing the heavy lifting in the beginning, you wouldn't have these jobs.
Man,
that's 100% true. You wouldn't have these jobs, you know. And everybody can have their own podcast and everything. Like, you know, JJ Redick had his, but when you really, really want to get down to it, you want to be on a major network.
Yeah.
Bottom line, you know what I'm saying? But we often take the criticism from the older guys too much to heart, when they're just giving it to you straight.
Yeah.
Because they care about you. You know, Stephen A. Smith, you could tell sometimes he gets frustrated with saying some of the same stuff over and over, and some of the young black athletes don't listen. When he talks about stay off the weed, when he talks about, you know, don't drink and drive, just call, you know, get an Uber, pay for a driver. When he talks about dealing with certain women and things like this, he's doing this stuff because he's seen so many people lose what they have. And he's trying to help you keep it.
Man, that just hit home. Where you just talked about how he just tired of saying it over and over and over again. And now, because I do think that there are moments where there are better ways to get your point across. There are better ways to talk to people and more effective ways for people to hear what you're saying. But I'm at the space now, and you just told me this last game on Sunday, to where it was like, I told you something. We had a close game that we played with our older group, and we had some things that we've gone over before in practice, something that I said in the huddle 3 times in a row to make sure everybody was clear, and they went out there and they still did it wrong, and it cost us the game. And I was yelling. I went from talking calm voice, encouraging, and then by the time they got to the second half, almost ended the game, I was in the ass.
Yeah.
But you get to that point because it's so frustrating.
It's frustrating.
And we're human. And when you feel the way you feel, when you're strongly about something, and you really do genuinely care because you know that the process for you to get to the top was so crazy.
Yeah.
You don't want anybody else to have to feel that way, but all you got to do is this, and this. I already did all that.
Yep.
I already did all that. We already ran around Dubai looking for places for us to get gyms at. We already ran around Dubai looking for manufacturers for this. We already ran around Dubai looking for this and this. All you're going to have to do when you join us at Hoop Mountain, show up on time, make sure you follow the program that we have, be professional, and pay it for it.
Yep.
You don't have to do none of the extra stuff. And you're going to make more than we did when we first started.
Yep.
And so then when you think about it that way, when you feel it this way, you like, man, because it's years of work. If the day the podcast hits whatever it hits, and we need to add more people, they're going to come into a situation where it may be 8 people in here, but there used to be just 3 people, and 2 of them were doing all 15 of the roles. And so when you come in and we already painted the picture for you, we got a snack bar over there now. We got different things coming around. Don't take this for granted because we're going to fire your ass.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And so now on their end, it's like, if you take it for granted with that, you ain't going to get fired, so to speak.
Yeah.
But my generation under you going to have new stipulations to how they get their bread.
Yeah. And so he's coming at Stephen A., right? And it's like the second time. But I need to hear him go at the establishment a little bit more then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Stephen A. just went at Kansas City.
Yeah.
Because Eric Bieniemy took the commander's job.
He went,
right?
he went directly at Andy Reid.
Yeah, he said it. He didn't pull any punches.
Yeah.
He said it straight up. And I know that people will counter that and say, well, look at the situation with you said Dana White? This is
Yeah.
And all I say is on stuff like that, I don't know what personal relationship he has with Dana White.
Yeah, but he said it ain't supposed to get in the way. But this is another thing too. He said the next thing he said was, I ain't letting nothing mess up my money.
Well, yeah.
And Dana White is not like, he is David Stern of UFC.
Yeah.
And so that comes with, as wrong as it is, it's the way the world.
Well, you think about it. Even he was going at KD one time before, right? But then he got into it and settled with KD's mom, and he don't say anything bad about KD anymore because they got a certain relationship.
Yeah.
So that's how it is. Like if something were to happen, and you and I had a beef, I probably wouldn't come no matter, even if I knew you was dead wrong, I probably wouldn't say it out loud.
Yeah.
That's just how it is, and that's my only thing. But 90 and everybody's human. We all make mistakes, but 90% of the time, Stephen A. Smith calls it like he sees it.
Just called Braun out.
Now he might sound like the drunk uncle at the cookout because he is loud and boisterous and all that stuff and animated, but that's just who he is.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But
it just made me think, man, I miss Stuart Scott too.
Oh yeah,
I miss the old Sports Center.
Yeah.
That used to be fire, man. Yeah. Like Sports Center used to be something I really did want to. When they had them big ass beige suits on, that was fun to watch, man. Now I only want to see highlights if Los is breaking them down.
I know.
You better get Los on TV, man.
I actually commented on his joint one time last year. Said, yo, you need to be on TV.
Yeah, for real. But that's something that we'll always continue to watch, but. You know, I know you had to get that off your chest. Jay Will, don't be Mr. Sensitive. That might be the title for the podcast episode.
Yeah.
Don't be, but I think that's a general statement too. Like man, that emotional intelligence thing is being thrown around and stuff. But I think to a certain degree, we take things to heart way too much. That even as adults now, some of us that didn't grow up in eras like that are starting to become tender. They say, like, it's some things you really just got to let roll off. Like, it's some things that just aren't worth it. Like, it just got to be better. It got to be better. We're raising a new generation of people. So if we don't do it, then we just gonna have to deal with what comes.
Mm-hmm.
But man, BTG Nation, that's it for this week. You know, that was a solid little breakdown. Next week we're gonna have something good for you. I meant to you before I forget, you brought up the fact that pretty much we were spoiled as athletes now, right? We're talking about playing, not playing, what you got to deal with and stuff. Man, I haven't finished it yet, but the Bill Russell special that we'll probably talk about going into the next pod. Shit.
Yeah. I don't even want to get into it too much, but
yeah, and
that puts things in
yet.
perspective about how people take things for granted.
And how sensitive motherfuckers are now.
Yep.
Like, I know one part, him and either Casey Jones was his roommate or was it Sam Jones? One of them was his roommate in college. They had to borrow each other's underwear.
Yeah. And listen,
just
different. Being, even though you were in the NBA, you were a star, being in Boston alone back in them days.
Yeah,
man,
yeah, we gonna go deep into that because I was like, man, but it's a lot. And so, with that being said, we gotta say thank you to the pioneers like that.
Yep,
pioneers like him. You know, guys that get on air first and take those lumps for us to be able to walk freely. You gangster.
Yep.
we can't say thank you enough. You know, you'll know, of course, Wilt has a huge presence in that series. But man, let's make it happen. But BTG Nation, you know, post game wrap up. I'm gonna start us off with this one because it's a lingering. I got this from last episode. It was on my mind, and then I said it to the young guys after we, the guys and the girls, after we had our life lessons. We're gonna call them L's this week, but there's a process to winning.
Yeah,
there's a process to success, and you can't skip any steps to that way. And so last episode we talked about having a story and how you can't have a story if everything is given to you. But each way, each step, each rung of the ladder is there for a reason. The next step is higher, so you can continue to push forward, but it may be a little harder to get there. And so there's a process to winning. So when we're telling our guys you got to sacrifice something, you got to put more expectation on yourself, you got to hold your guys accountable, it's because you're not going to get there alone. And when you finally get to that spot and you feel it, you're going to understand why you work so hard. Mm-hmm. When it's a process, winning is a process, success is a process, and you got to go through it. So accept it, face it head on, and invite it, you know. But that's it.
I like that. Embrace it. Mine is something I saw this morning. You know, I'm always cutting out little quotes and highlighting them, putting them up on my board. And it was from Walter Payton, the great Walter Payton, Sweetness.
Oh, you went back.
And it went something like this. If you're good, you'll tell everybody. If you're great, they'll tell you. And that's for the young guys that are out here, especially our players who, you know, they're getting better. But just because you win one game and have a good game individually doesn't mean that you got to boast about it. Just go about your business, keep coming to work, and trust me, you'll get what's yours. You'll get what's yours.
That's the thing about basketball. It'll never lie.
For sure. Rasheed Wallace say, ball don't lie.
It does not lie at all. It's the greatest. So
wait. Don't end it so fast. Just let everybody know who was the king of the court last Thursday.
What?
Yeah.
Check this out.
We rocked y'all, like, for real. Like, it was ugly. You had Coach Ryan screaming at people. Kids. Screaming at kids.
That was a grown man I was screaming at. It's funny because the week before that, we went 7-0. Then some new guys showed up. We had a new court too. That whole situation was crazy. That's the one thing too, man. People, we got to find a way to get basketball on TV. Or maybe you know how the NBA channel used to always have them old games on at all points in the summertime. We got to find it. The NBA, if you come talk to me and we can talk about a way to get that on TV somewhere and like so people can always see, because some of the things I just can't keep trying to tell people and they just not getting in the middle of the wins. Like,
but they can't watch today's NBA.
Can't watch nothing, man.
Yeah.
They need to do something, but yeah, we gonna be back at it. Oh man, this week is big too. Moms and bro gonna be here, so they're
leaving today, right?
Tomorrow, Wednesday. They'll be here Thursday morning.
Okay, I thought they'd be here Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah, Thursday morning. I got a big meeting tomorrow morning though. Big time meeting. Yeah, we're gonna sit on
the future of this podcast. Shit.
It's on there. We rolling the dice, but yeah, BTG Nation, man. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. All 13 countries, man. You don't understand how appreciative we are for that, because we just some regular guys trying to get it together. So, like, comment, subscribe. HMD, Hoop Mountain, DXB, hoopmountain.ae. You guys know how we give it up. Keep it real, keep it simple, and keep going.
Player and coach, the brother to brother. They both got views that you need to discover. From sports, current events to just life talk. Whether you on a fast break or a nice walk, gotta tune in. You already know, G. This BTG Nation and you one of the homies. Just tune in. You already know, G. BTG Nation, the other ones in the nosebleeds.